Welcome. As you can see, we are under universal gas constant, and I will start explaining to you why we use certain values of R, why we don't use certain values of R. Sometimes we see that your R is 0.0821, and sometimes under solving gas laws, you use that R is equal to 8.314. We have to know the reason. And if you know the reason, life becomes easier. It's as simple as ABC. At standard temperature, meaning at HTP, at STP, 1 atm, 0 degrees centigrade takes 1 mole of any gas at 22.4 liters. So what it means is at 1 atm, 0 degrees centigrade. Remember 0 degrees centigrade, for me to convert it to Kelvin, I will plus it with what? 273. So at STP, what we should be using is what? 273 Kelvin. So let's move. From ideal gas, you already know that PV is equal to nRT. Remember, what we're talking about is universal gas constant. So I should be solving for R. So making R subject of the formula, you have what? PV all over what? RT. Now, should in case your pressure is from the standard temperature, we're taking pressure to be 1 atm, and your volume is in 22.4 liters. If you insert this into this formula, you will get, and remember, your temperature is 273 Kelvin. And I made a mistake here. Here should be NT. And your N is what? 1 mole. So I'll just insert this information into here. This is as easy as ABC. So you have 1 atm times 22.4 liters all over your number of moles, which is 1 mole, times 273 Kelvin. So if you should punch your calculator in that aspect, you will get a very simple answer. What you should get is 0.0821 atm dot liters all over mole dot Kelvin. So you only use this R constant whenever your pressure is in atm and your volume is in what? Liters. That is when you should use that R, 0.0281. You only use it when your pressure is given in atm and your liters and your volume is given in liters. Please note this thing very well. It can confuse you. Sometimes if your volume or your pressure is not in atm and maybe it's in millimeter of mercury, you can convert it and still use this value of R. Under our channel, on the next video I'm going to release, we are going to be talking about pressure conversions. How for you to convert from one pressure to another is as simple as ABC. Now, what about if your pressure is in 760 millimeter of mercury? Please, I want you to note one very powerful formula. This powerful formula, I'm going to be using it in pressure conversions. So note it very well. Look at what I'm saying. Let me clean the board. Look at what I'm saying. That at atm, 1 atm is equal to 700 millimeter of mercury. It's equal to 760 torrs. And it's equal to 14.7 psi. It's equal to 14.7 psi. It's also equal to, so this is in this. Yeah, okay, it's also equal to 1.013 kPa. Now, what we are actually doing here is I want you to know that beautiful formula. And when we enter pressure conversions, you will know every single thing about what it means. For now, I just want you to start solving about what R is. Please, here should be, I made a very simple mistake here. Here should be 0.101 kPa, 101.3 kPa. So, if, let's say you want to, your pressure is in millimeter of mercury, and you want to use a value of R, there is also a formula for it. Let's say your pressure is in kPa. Let me start with kPa first. After I start with kPa, how can you use how for you to use R, given that your pressure is already in kPa? So remember that your R is PV all over what? NT. And let's say your pressure is what? 101.3 kPa. I don't know why I keep on mixing this up. And your volume is 22.4 liters, right? So your mole is still 1 mole, and your temperature is 273 Kelvin. Now, all you have to do is insert it into this formula and your answer will flow naturally. So, your pressure is now 0.1.3 kPa times your volume 22.4 liters all over your mole is 1 mole times 273 Kelvin. If you punch this into your calculator, you will get a value of R, which is 8.314 kPa dot liter all over mole dot Kelvin. You only use this value of R whenever your pressure is in kPa and your volume is in what? Liters. That is only when you use it. Now, what if your what value of R can we use when what value of R can we use when the pressure is in millimeter of mercury? The pressure is in millimeter of mercury. So this formula still stands. So if your pressure is in 760 millimeter of mercury, you only insert it into this formula. So your R will now be 760 millimeter of mercury times your volume, which is 22.4 liters, all over 1 mole times what? 273 what? Kelvin. If you calculate this or you punch it in your calculator, you should get an R value of 62.4 millimeter of mercury dot liters all over what? Mole dot Kelvin. Please note that you only use this value of R if under ideal gas you are solving and your pressure is in what? Millimeter of mercury and the volume is in what? Liters. Remember, if the pressure is in torrs, you will get the same answer because 760 torrs is also equals to 760 millimeter of mercury under 1 atm. So if you are using your pressure in torrs, you should also get 62.4 torrs dot liter all over what? Mole dot Kelvin. So under pressure conversion, immediately you finish watching this video, rush immediately and what? Search for pressure conversion. This is where I'll be dissolving how to use this thing very well. Welcome to Ideal Gas.